Did you know some of the world's most expensive and exotic coffees have been banned or faced ethical controversy? From animal-digested beans to politically restricted brews, these forbidden coffees have fascinating, and sometimes dark, histories. Coffee is more than just a beverage, it's a global cultural phenomenon, a ritual, and a billion-dollar industry. But not all coffee is created equal, and some brews come with a fascinating history of bans, restrictions, and ethical concerns. From politically prohibited beans to ethically questionable production methods, certain coffees have gained notoriety for reasons beyond their flavor. Whether due to legal embargoes, religious decrees, or ethical dilemmas, these forbidden brews provide a glimpse into the complex intersection of culture, politics, and commerce in the coffee world. Let's take a journey into the dark side of coffee and uncover the stories behind these controversial and, in some cases, outlawed brews. 1. Kopi Luwak, civet coffee, ethical dilemma. Often marketed as the most luxurious coffee in the world, Kopi Luwak is made from beans that have been eaten and excreted by civet cats. The process allegedly enhances the flavor, creating a smoother and less acidic brew. However, the demand for this coffee has led to the unethical treatment of civets, with many being kept in captivity under poor conditions. While not officially banned, ethical concerns have led to restrictions and boycotts in various regions. 2. Black ivory coffee. Elephants in the brew. Similar to Kopi Luwak, black ivory coffee is made from beans that have passed through the digestive system of elephants. The enzymes in the elephants' stomachs break down the proteins in the beans, reducing bitterness. While prized for its rarity, the method raises questions about animal welfare and sustainability, leading to criticisms but not outright bans. 3. Cuban coffee. U.S. trade embargo. For decades, Cuban coffee was effectively banned in the United States due to the trade embargo imposed on Cuba. This prohibition made it nearly impossible for American consumers to legally purchase or import Cuban-grown coffee. While restrictions have eased slightly in recent years, the embargo still affects large-scale distribution. 4. Swedish coffee prohibition. 18th century. In a bizarre historical twist, Sweden banned coffee multiple times in the 18th century. King Gustav III, believing that coffee was harmful, ordered restrictions on its consumption, and even conducted an experiment using convicted criminals to test its effects. The bans were largely ignored by the public, and coffee ultimately became a staple of Swedish culture. 5. Saudi Arabia's 16th century coffee ban. Coffee was once banned in Mecca in the early 16th century. Religious leaders feared that coffeehouses encouraged social gatherings that could lead to political dissent. The ban was eventually lifted, and today, Saudi Arabia embraces coffee culture as a central part of hospitality and tradition. 6. Instant coffee in Italy. A cultural rejection. While not an outright legal ban, Italy's deep-rooted espresso culture has led to a strong rejection of instant coffee. Many Italians view it as an inferior product, and some cafes even refuse to serve it. The preference for high-quality espresso has kept instant coffee largely out of the mainstream market in Italy. 7. Vietnam's weasel coffee. Another digestive process. Vietnam produces its own version of civet coffee, known as weasel coffee, following the same controversial process as Kopi Luwak. Like its Indonesian counterpart, the industry has faced scrutiny due to animal cruelty concerns, leading to calls for ethical sourcing and stricter regulations. 8. Ethiopia's attempted coffee ban. As the birthplace of coffee, Ethiopia has a long and proud tradition of coffee cultivation. However, at various points in history, religious authorities attempted to restrict its consumption, fearing its stimulating effects. Despite these efforts, coffee became an integral part of Ethiopian culture and remains a key export for the country. Finally, coffee is often seen as a unifying force, bringing people together across cultures and generations. However, its history is filled with moments of controversy, prohibition, and ethical dilemmas. The stories of these forbidden brews remind us that even something as simple as a cup of coffee can have deep cultural, political, and moral implications. As consumers, we have the power to make informed choices, supporting ethical sourcing, sustainability, and humane practices to ensure that our love for coffee doesn't come at too high a cost. So, the next time you take a sip, consider the journey your coffee has taken and the impact it leaves behind.